Welcome to Portobello Radio, live at the Muse Gallery. I'm Zakia with...
Piers, I'm Piers.
And indeed, I'm Greg Weir. Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the show. We are going to start with a tune that I got from Nick Manasseh's amazing Carnival mix, which is going gangbusters all over Mixcloud.
You think a little bit of headset, my mommy papa. She said, put down that DJ thing there. I just your book, me want you take up. Cause every day you just make beer nice more while me want you shut up. You feel like no producer boy can carry you a studio go lock up. Now she's my biggest fan. Love you, my number one. Words of a queen. That's everything what from my mama said to me. She's still my biggest fan. But see your face when you hear this, you want. Words of a queen. That's everything what from my mama said to me. I'ma tell you about a Lila way. The studio door me coulda never ever reached that day. For mama say, if me do it, she a go beat me, yeah. That couldn't keep me wet, because me done did have the dry eye. One day in my room, me there, I sing a tune pon a nice piece of beat. Me say, my neighbor them a tell me how my song sweet. Mama walk in and hear it. Said she need a one up on her playlist. Now she's my biggest fan. Love you, my number one. Words of a queen. That's everything what my mama said to me. She's still the biggest fan. Won't see your face when you hear this, you want. Words of a queen. That's everything what my mama said to me. And it was no debate. When a time for we get up and go wash out the plate. We coulda never ever set foot through the gate before we read a psalm. Preferably 23 and 98. You say go and hold the faith. If I this me really want, then put your first and elevate. So on everything you say, me still there, I concentrate. So mom, you see that one, yeah. Why you know say I for you, me do that song, yeah. Now she's my biggest fan. Love you, my number one. Words of a queen. That's everything what my mama said to me. She's still my biggest fan. Go see your face when you hear this, you want. Words of a queen. That's everything what my mama said. My mama said. See, ever since I was a little teeny weeny tot, me always dream for build a tune and circulate them up. So everybody start for answer who for that or that. You hear say you for Jerry, you're the one we never talk a lot. See in my heart, love for you, I really got a lot. I hope you know that this is just the start of part. And me give thanks for every single time you literally beating those words of the vine. My biggest fan. Love you, my number one. Words of a queen. That's everything what my mama said to me. She's still the biggest fan. Won't see your face when you hear this, you want. Words of a queen. I love you, mama. You're still my biggest fan. Love you, my number one.
Yeah, that is it Leela Ike?
Yeah, Lila Ike. Lila Ike.
And you've met her?
Yeah, so she performed at City Splash last year in 2022, and then she must have been just hanging in London, and she was going to different spots. And on her Instagram live, I'd seen that she was on All Saints outside Daddy Vigo's shop. And obviously, if you're from the area, you know the shop like as soon as you see it. So I saw it, I was like, me and my friend were messaging like she's in Grove. So I ran out my yard, ran up the road. I managed to catch her as well, took a photo of her. She was really nice and stuff. But yeah, man, she was a good artist. She was so amazing when I saw her perform. Like her energy levels were just different. So yeah.
She's a bit like a kind of young Tanya Stevens.
Yeah, no, she's doing really well. I like her versatility. She's got a different kind of style, and she definitely sticks out in terms of reggae music.
Yeah, no, she is great, and that, as I said, comes off Nick Manassa's set that he did for a carnival. We released it as a podcast finally this weekend because it was played as part of Saturday sessions.
What a brilliant podcast
It's a
it is
brilliant
as well,
set,
man.
and also Ras Makist is on it. He's on it really quite a lot.
He is. He was our mic man for Carnival.
He
Has been for the
was.
last 3 carnivals. He's good. He's
He's
good,
a hell of a
man.
hype
yeah.
man. He's
yeah,
a
no,
hell
he's,
of a
he is. He's
hype
cool.
man.
He's very, very cool. Big up, Ras, if you're listening in,
Yeah.
brother. Mental. We also had a few other mic men, didn't we, down there, which was really, really cool. Some real randoms calling by. We had a little lad who just started. I didn't even get his name. Just picked up the mic and started spitting, and it was so cool, so cool, man.
Yeah, I think he
Brilliant.
might have been
Absolutely
one of the locked off crew, was he?
I don't know.
think
I
that
don't think.
might-
Was he related to
Rudy and that
RJD
lot,
and
yeah.
all that crew? Wow.
They're all up in Leeds, actually. They
Okay.
probably just got there. They're doing Northern Jungle up in Leeds. If anyone's listening in Leeds.
Oh, how superb.
It's actually sold out.
Yeah.
Talking about our DJs and how successful they are.
Yeah.
Young Minna, who is 19 now,
Yeah.
started on Portobello Radio
Yeah, man.
last year. She's actually doing 5 gigs this weekend.
Amazing. Absolutely
Including
amazing.
the drum sheds. She's doing the Prince of the Wales, the rooftop. I'm popping there, Greg.
You are. You need a fluffer, baby.
Oh, right. I'll get a fluff from. Why don't
Yeah.
I play another tune? I got
Amazing.
this from
just while you're on the minute tip, I got a funny feeling we're not going to be able to get many more sets off her because she's got professional representation now. So we need to get in
love
with her
that.
agents now.
Oh,
Rather
really?
than- yeah, sadly we have to. Everything goes through her agent, which is a bit of a bore. But yeah, that's down to you, brother.
All
That's
right,
down to
okay.
you.
Well,
Wicked.
you heard her first here on Portobello Radio. So if
Always.
any other aspiring young DJs or indeed old DJs want to come and offer up a set on Portobello Radio, we are ready to listen.
Absolutely.
And if it's
always.
any good, we'll play it.
Absolutely brilliant. Superb.
I got this one from Sarah Walcott's Detention.
Aw.
Which is mainly a reggae set, but she does do a little Afro. She does Afrobeat and she does a little desert blues. And this is Boubacar Traoré.
Oh, what a good tune. Yes.
Yeah, that is Askia Mohammed by Boubacar Traore. And if you want to hear more great music from Sarah Balcock, go to our Mixcloud. Mixcloud.com
Yeah,
/Portobello Radio.
It's brilliant. It's all brilliant. Love
I thought
it.
I saw a
Love it.
ghost in the studio there for a minute.
Ah, Isis has just popped by very, very quickly to say hi and make sure that we're all in check. And I'm glad that Mum's in the house. I'm definitely glad that Mum's in the house.
Yeah. You might have to cut that bit out for the rewind.
Brilliant. Well, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty spiky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, my mum. Our mum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our mum.
Exactly.
We can't even tell you where she's about to go. Anyway, Zakia, do you want to introduce Nelio and ask him why he's here?
Hi. So today we have a guest in the studio, Nelio, who teaches capoeira. So welcome and thank you for spending the afternoon with us. So just a couple of questions. Could you first explain what capoeira is, just for those who don't know it or might know or not really clear about it?
Yeah, Zaki, thank you for having me and thank you for inviting me over to Portobello Radio. I'm a fan, I'm a listener.
Oh, good man. I
And,
like it. I like it a lot.
Most of the times when I'm abroad and I need to feel the energy of our area, I switch on to the radio. And when I want to know what's going on in the neighborhood, I switch on to the radio and I always get the most accurate information. So
You're too kind.
thank you guys for the awesome work you guys do for all of us.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Amazing. That's amazing.
So-
Pleasure.
Going back to Zaki's question, what is capoeira? Capoeira is a form of resistance developed by the African descendants in Brazil. Resistance against mainly slavery and colonization and being taken away from your homeland. Resistance through movement, through rhythm, through self-defense, through challenging society in more ways than one, but basically using African-based expressions developed in South America into a form of fighting that goes into an art form. So it's huge. So a form of self-defense that can express itself as with elements of dancing, with elements of political statement, with elements of bringing people together.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So you teach around the area to all ages, or the specific age group that you mainly focus on?
Yeah, so I've done a lot of work with adults and children in the area, mostly children from the age of 4 up until 12, 13 years old,
Okay.
adults as well. Collaborating in different projects with different organizations, different institutions. At the moment, we're doing some brilliant work with Fit for Life Youth down in Preston Road by Latimer Road 2 station. And it's a collaboration with the Westway Trust and one of their creative courses.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, great. That sounds really interesting. Is that this flyer here? So that's from Tuesdays, 7th of November to 12th of December, 6:30 to 8 p.m. for anyone that's interested in the classes. And so how did you get into capoeira yourself?
Thank you for asking. You're making me think. I guess a Brazilian guy came to my local estate. I was brought up in Portugal. I'm originally from Mozambique.
Okay.
I was brought up in the north of Portugal. At some point, this Brazilian bloke came to our estate, started delivering a couple of sessions weekly where some of us had access to. At that stage, I was a little bit overweight, not very confident, not the usual sporty kid. I wasn't great at football. Because I was a dark-skinned boy, everybody expected me to be good at football. I was rubbish at it.
Because that's Eusebio's background, isn't it?
Yes.
Mozambique to Portugal.
So that's the expectations that was put in my shoulder, that I would at some point represent my local football team and step into Eusebio's shoes. But I was far, far away from being that person. So when Capoeira showed up, it was something really interesting. He was new. It helped me educate myself in ways that I couldn't educate myself before. So I went to school in Portugal. What I learned about Mozambique, Angola was everything from a Eurocentric perspective. So with Capoeira, I started getting told a different story, a story that hadn't been told before. I guess personally as well, there was this element of confidence and self-esteem that came up that was not there before. So like I said before, I was a little bit overweight, clumsy, not very good at doing handstands or cartwheels or even at standing up for myself. And then capoeira helped me kind of get that self-esteem, get that confidence. I remember studying capoeira and I was at the very back of the class, and there was a lot of other young boys that were fitter, more agile than me, stronger than me. They could express themselves better than I could. They could stand up for themselves a lot better than I could. But eventually, and through consistency and sticking to this, I went from being at the very back of the class and some point progressing to being in the middle of the class, and then progressing to being that front row and somehow representing a group of kids from that part of town and performing and eventually teaching and supporting the group in more ways than one. So it was an interesting journey.
Oh, it sounds really beautiful. Like
Yeah.
you've kind of come from a place and you found yourself through it. And I suppose that's what's lovely about doing physical activities. When you find something that you can really gravitate to, you really come out your shell. And yeah, so it's really nice to hear your story with capoeira.
It's really beautiful. I mean, capoeira, I've seen it a few times. Sometimes amateur, sometimes really people who are quite good. But it's on the point of violence, isn't it? At all times, it's on the cusp of violence. But in fact, that's translated into a beautiful kind of symmetry and geometry of two men dancing.
I wouldn't use the word violence, Piers. I would use the word assertiveness through movement, through spatial awareness, through intimacy with the floor, through intimacy with using your body to stand up for yourself. So I wouldn't use the word violence there. There have been times in the history of capoeira where capoeira practitioners have had to violently stand up for themselves in different contexts and use that to kind of stand their ground and make sure they got respect from different aspects of society. But mostly speaking, I would use the word assertiveness in a general context. And there's elements of, or there might be a context where that assertiveness might be understood as violence. But generally speaking, I would reject that term in most cases. I would contextualize it maybe to some specific events in history where capoeira practitioners have had to push quite a lot to be heard and to be seen and to be respected and understood.
So it's almost more like a dance-off, like in the 70s and 80s in the Bronx, when they started with the hip-hop and so on. There was the b-boy, the fly-boy, the thing with people dancing against each other.
So if we go back to the late 1800s, if you were caught practicing capoeira, you'd be sent to a prison.
Wow.
If you were caught practicing capoeira, one of the penalties is that you would have your Achilles tendon cut.
So you couldn't...
So you couldn't actually do those capoeira movements.
That is brutal,
So
man.
for the European people living in Brazil, the idea that as a black person there was a form of movement that would make you feel empowered, that was very threatening.
I was going to use exactly that word. Exactly that word. It is threatening. It is threatening. No, and all very naive with it. Whoa. Wow, man.
So the idea of a group of black folks, Afro-descendants, could get together, sing some songs, practice some movement, and therefore feel more empowered was very threatening. So it was intimidating to those Euro-descendants, the settlers in Brazil, to see black folks with a smile in their face. So if you go to the 70s in North America, you think about how a black boxer like Muhammad Ali standing up for himself and being able to defend himself in a ring and be able to be vocal about stuff, that was very intimidating.
Yeah.
So you could go back to the late 1800s in Brazil, and I'm going to go back to the penalty for being caught practicing capoeira or around capoeira people. You'd be sent to a prison in an island where you'd be forgotten somewhere, an Alcatraz type of place. That quite a few of these places would exist in Brazil. You'd spend a couple of years there as the minimum penalty, or you'd have that Achilles tendon cut, so you wouldn't be able to practice capoeira. Later, in the early 1930s, 1920s, the practitioners of capoeira would find a way of, whenever they were doing it in public, they would use the more harmless movements in public. So the musicality would be showcased at a higher level. The rhythm of it, the artistry of it would be showcased. So behind closed doors or behind the slave master's big house where these Euro descendants would not come to have a look at what is it that these folks are doing, then it would take different shapes and sizes. But in public, it would be connected to a market happening on a Friday or a Sunday, and people just kind of playing capoeira and kind of challenging each other with handstands and cartwheels, pretty movement or elements of continuity and so on. But mainly speaking, within closed doors, within areas where slaves would run away to, and slaves would run away from urban locations to other locations where they were very interested in finding ways of empowering themselves. So kind of looking at being able to use their physicality to defend themselves against whips and any other types of weapons that their slave masters would display is really what they were interested in. They were not very interested in dancing at the time.
Wow. Let's have a tune and we'll come back and talk more.
Se esse ano o Salgueiro não ganhar, eu posso até chorar, mas no ano que vem novamente na avenida eu vou sambar. É, né? Pois é, se esse ano o Salgueiro não ganhar, eu posso até chorar, mas no ano que vem novamente na avenida eu vou sambar. É vermelho e branco, sua bandeira, sua fibra, seu encanto. Na Zona Norte, lá na Tijuca, representando o Rio de Janeiro. Lá vem Salgueiro, lá vem Salgueiro. É, né? Pois é, se esse ano o Salgueiro não ganhar, eu posso até chorar, mas no ano que vem novamente na avenida eu vou sambar. É, né? Pois é, se esse ano o Salgueiro não ganhar, eu posso até chorar, mas no ano que vem novamente na avenida eu vou sambar. É vermelho e branco, sua bandeira, sua fibra, seu encanto. Na Zona Norte, lá na Tijuca, representando o Rio de Janeiro. Lá vem Salgueiro,
Yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. That's La Vemo Salguero, and that's Os Originais do Samba. Is that kind of okay?
I love them a lot.
Yeah, man, an amazing tune, that one. That was quite good, that, wasn't it? Cool.
Samba obviously, sorry, Sakia,
no.
you got Samba brings us to the Samba schools and the Rio Carnival. Is capoeira part of that?
So in the last few years, you'd see that samba schools have got a little bit more freedom in choosing the themes that they choose to display in carnival. So the most traditional samba schools will look into their own history and they will choose to relate their own history. When you looked at the previous government in Brazil and how that government tried to segregate carnival or tried to segregate black carnival, then these samba schools used their funding and decided to focus even more in the Afro-Brazilian themes, capoeira being one of them. So I'm proud to see that in this traditional Brazilian Rio Carnival that gets showcased to the world, you do see a strong presence of capoeira and capoeira-inspired themes and stories being showcased by the most kind of, I would say, the most traditional samba schools.
Okay, and do you get involved in any of the samba schools in terms of Notting Hill Carnival?
So we had an interesting participation 3 years ago in which 3 different Brazilian bands got together for an arts council funding, and we did something quite unique. So we had the maracatu from the northeast of Brazil, which is this very typical drums. We had a local band called Tribo, who's a percussive band from Bahia. And then we had a group of capoeira people, and we kind of collaborated for 3 months to come up with some unique theme that got displayed in Notting Hill Carnival. So we then choose as a theme one of the MPs that got assassinated in Brazil in Rio 4 years ago. We decided to talk about a indigenous figure that would represent indigenous Brazil, as well as a black capoeira master from Bahia that inspired loads of the traditional Bahia carnival bands. So we had a theme that was really interesting, and we had a collaboration between a maracatu band, a percussive band, and also the different capoeira schools. And we did something quite unique, I'm very proud to have been part of it. And that was really, really interesting. Last year as well with Tribal Band, we got invited to be in the stage for Panorama and open the stage for some of those traditional bands that play there, and that was really nice to see. You know, I was happy with that. I was very proud of kind of, after all these years of being a fan of Notting Hill Carnival and learning from the area and learning from the history, being able to be on that stage performing capoeira and showcasing capoeira. I think we did it just before Gorillas. I think it was the year that the Gorillas band was able to play a couple of songs there.
Nice.
So that was cool. That was really cool.
Sounds brilliant.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see that it's been incorporated into Notting Hill Carnival as well. Because all the different carnivals, but there's a similar culture, so it's nice to see that it is being represented at the front as well.
Yeah, it's a challenge for a lot of these bands to be able to speak the same language, even though Portuguese might be the language that we all speak. So it's a big challenge for people to take a step back from their leadership and collaborate in projects. It's not always easy, but you know, when you look back into these projects that have a lot of friction sometimes, because sometimes you need to take a step back from being the leader that you are to collaborate. But what comes out of it is something quite special, quite unique.
One of the things that I really love about Black History Month is the actual history bit of it. And I know people dismiss it as a bit of stunt having Black History Month, because it should be Black History 365. But capoeira teaches you a lot about Brazil in the same way that Mass teaches you about Trinidad, and we hope we're making our own histories here in Notting Hill. It's amazing to have, you can come down on a Tuesday night and you can get fit and you can look cool in front of your mates, because it looks amazing when you do capoeira, but also you're partaking in something that is living history.
Yeah, 100%, Piers. Beyond movement, beyond looking cool, being part of a community of like-minded individuals that might be interested in exploring a subject slightly deeper. You know, these days everybody touches everything superficially, you know. When you look at the format of social media, it's 15 seconds of this or 15 seconds of that. So, you know, having a shared area of interest where people can explore. It starts with movement. It starts with people looking for a solution for feeling well, feeling better, maybe belonging. So we try to create this very open, democratic space that welcomes people from all ages, all backgrounds, into learning a bit more of capoeira's Black African history. But in doing that, we're not trying to segregate anyone. We're trying to create this open space where everybody can come and learn a little bit more. And there might be misconceptions about what capoeira is, where is capoeira from, or even what type of capoeira style is more legit than others. You see a lot of individuals trying to take ownership of a narrative. I think my job as someone that teaches this, and I've been teaching this in the area for the last 20 years, I just want to sparkle interest in the individual, for the individual to do its research and try and find out more about this. So my job is to kind of welcome you in trying to get to see what type of movement-based experience this can be. My job is to try and tell you that it goes beyond movement. There's rhythm, there's musicality that we are interested in exploring. This also, we're trying to create a space where you can belong. So when you look at what we experienced in the last 3 or 4 years, where people have been isolated and locked at home, and we've kind of, I can talk about myself, I kind of got used to staying at home on my own a little bit more than what I should, to be honest. So this physical space that we're trying to create, and this partnership with the local institutions that I mentioned before, that gives people. So one thing that I need to mention is that we have this concession that allows people to take part in a 6 weeks capoeira course for £12.50. So if you're a student, if you're on low income, if
Old
you're
age pensioner?
that fits in as well.
Senior.
Not
yet, but almost.
Senior individuals, wise fellas that we can learn from in more ways than one, are welcome to come and share their own experience with us for what is an affordable rate. So we kind of created this affordability way into trying something new, which for me is very important as well, because a lot of us post-pandemic, post-lockdown, have been pushed into letting go of some of the community work that we've been doing to find more commercial avenues to bring money home. I'm talking about myself, that a lot of the work that I did with schools in the area got terminated. A lot of the partnerships that I had with local institutions got terminated, and I was kind of thinking, where am I going to have to go and teach? So in many ways, I've been pushed to do more commercial work that fits my goals at home, that creates some financial security for me. So this partnership that gives people from the area, different people in different levels of income, access to this activity, for me is very, very important. So on a Tuesday evening you can come, learn about movement, learn about this Brazilian thing, and demystify this idea of capoeira being a dance or what it is. So my goal is that over the 6 weeks I will take you on a journey. On that journey you'll get to know a little bit more about yourself. Maybe you'll get to look at someone else in the eye, smile at a stranger, get to know a stranger, do some physical work with them, feel a bit more empowered, feel welcomed. And a lot of the people that walk through our doors, in more ways than one, they might have come up to a different activity because of their shape and size. They may have been rejected, because of how they speak or how they express themselves. They might have looked at a traditional fitness class or whatever movement offering there's out there, and they might have thought, this is not for me. So in what I do, I'm proud of creating this environment that includes everyone. I'm welcome. Everybody's welcome. I was a bit of an oddball when I started this. I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. And this activity, capoeira, and how it got presented to made me feel that I was welcome. I was able to kind of develop my self-esteem along the way, and that's somehow my mission today when I do this for a living.
Are you going to be there, Zach?
I'm at uni Mondays and Tuesdays, so just depending on if I'm stressed because of my dissertation. But I've actually tried a couple of capoeira classes, and I'm telling people it is not a dance. It is not a dance class. Like, it's really amazing, like physically, even just like being aware of, like you said, your movement, like being on all fours and learning how to fall comfortably, and you're not, like when I was doing it, you're not kicking people to hurt people, but you're learning how to move and be aware. And I think you're right, there's a lot, I think, after lockdown with people, mental health, you're stuck indoors all the time, or people just being socially not being able to communicate the way we were before lockdown. I think classes like this, where you're able to express yourself in a safe space, are really important. Inclusion's really important, so I'm really glad that the area has something like this. So if you are listening, please go down. You're very welcomed. It's an amazing opportunity and you will not regret it.
Fantastic. Nelio, Grace. Hi, Grace. Grace, have you got any questions for Nelio? No? But you'll be there on Tuesday the 7th.
Absolutely.
We better get on to, what have you got any social media handles? How do people get on board?
So social media
our
would
old
be,
mate Eventbrite?
So I think what I'll do after I leave here, I'm going to make sure I add and follow Portobello Radio on social media. So you should be able to find me through that. My Instagram account is @thatcapoeiraguy. The spelling of that might be a bit complicated.
T-A-T?
T-H-A-T, Capoeira Guy. And you can find us at Fit for Life Youth HQ, and that's 151 Preston Road, W1060H. If you go to the Westway website, you might be able to find this specific course there. The site is going through some changes right now, so we're trying to make sure that you can go into that website and find this activity and you don't get lost when navigating the website.
And as most of you will know, but just in case anyone doesn't, Preston Road is the continuation of Latimer Road. It's where the Harrow Club is, it's where the Space is, and it's where all their storage places are. You're in the old jiu-jitsu place.
Yeah, so is this venue that, it used to be the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu space. It's now this beautiful space that welcomes young people through different programs from North Kensington and beyond. Boxing is one of the activities that is in evidence there, that helps to bring people in and helps to manage this energy that you can sometimes have as a young person, that you need to find an arena to express that energy. I'm very proud of the work that Chris is doing with the organization, not just in that side, but throughout North Kensington. And I'm kind of happy that I found a venue where I can operate, and I feel like we can develop a partnership, because it's becoming harder and harder and harder. I remember with Portobello Radio as well, how at some point you had to migrate from one space to another. And eventually when this partnership with this specific site where we're today came through, and how that makes it easy for you guys to do your work and reach everybody that you need to reach. So I think these partnerships are really important, and it's important to keep them on the long term. It's vital for us that we want to be able to do the work that we do, that these partnerships can be maintained on the very long term. So I'm happy that I found one that I can work with.
Yeah, well, we'll say yeah to that one. Nelio, thank you so much for coming by. That has been inspirational. The idea of combining movement with wellness, with history, with understanding your fellow neighbours, sounds brilliant.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, and wishing you all the best with the classes.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Rose, who invited me here today. She's got a new song out there. Sometimes I'm a bit shy reaching out for different people in the community, and I keep myself to myself. But every so often, someone comes in and creates a link. So I just want to give her a big shout out.
That's Rosebud.
Rosebud, check out her music.
Yeah, we know Rosebud. Big up, big up. Whoop, whoop.
She's a cool cat.
She was on the radio recently, and she has another great song out today. She's so prolific.
Yeah.
She doesn't sit around on her ass. She's always moving. Thank you, Nelio.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Falou, é quente a transação.
Yeah, it's a little bit more favela chic. Baye de Funk de Baye. Bobera, Edison Frederico. That is also from Brazil. Grace, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you? How are you doing? What?
I'm good. How are you?
You already know Nelio.
Yeah.
How do you know him?
I met him through Fit for Life.
Yeah.
That was a gym in Latimer Road. And yeah, I think he does boxing, training boxing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I met him. So yeah.
What, you do boxing at Fit
Yeah,
for Life?
of course.
Do you do it on the Tuesday?
No, I do it on the Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it a all women's class or is it a
No,
mix?
that's a Tuesday one,
Oh,
isn't
okay,
it?
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I always forget to go. Forget to go.
I went to
love it.
one because my friend knows Chris, so he was like, "Come down to this it's
Yeah.
like circuit trainer." I
Yeah.
nearly died. I was smiling away. And the thing is, my friend's kind of like, he's much bigger than me, so like we were partnered up and we had to do like you got to do like a not a press up, but you got to go down and like slap each other's hands. I was slowing the guy down, and I felt so bad for him because I could not keep up. But it was good. But like, yeah, it was a really good session. It just showed me that I'm not fit right now, and I need to get back on it.
Do you remember when they used to do salsa? They used to have salsa.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
I don't know. I walked past a couple of times. I was like, hey.
Yeah, me too. I had to come. I had to. I remember when I did it, I kept going in and then missing it for like a month and then going in again and then missing it for
They
like
should
a
bring
month.
that back because I can't
Yeah.
lie. I've been seeing people doing salsa classes all the
Yeah.
time. I'm like, I want to be, dude. I want to be one of them. Do you know
I
what I
was
mean?
feeling myself. I was
Like,
literally
yeah,
feeling
it
myself
looks-
doing
yeah.
the cha-cha slide.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm gonna start speaking Spanish and thing. I've never spoken Spanish in my life.
You're listening to Portobello Radio, coming live and direct from the Muse Gallery right here on Portobello Road. Right now we are in the middle of the Native Spirit Festival. You might have heard Tweed on the show last week. She was inviting you all down. Greg, you were here on you're gonna have to move along one. Yeah, can we have Gregsy, you were here on Tuesday for the Native Spirit Festival,
Yeah,
and
man,
you
I was.
saw some films. You saw Tweed dancing in the window as well.
I had some inspirations. Not only, I mean, Tweed is she's gorgeous and absolutely nuts. And I love that combination. Sadly, the Native Spirit guys are getting limited, shall we say, on X, or otherwise known as Twitter, because they have been posting these lovely posters that we're surrounded by, which are just terrific, man. They're really quite dissenting.
Right.
Aren't they mental? Absolutely
Just
mental.
briefly explain what the Native Spirit Festival is.
First Nations. It's all about the First Nations again, isn't it? And so basically, what Twee and the crew from the Native Spirit Festival guys have been doing is running around the world, literally around the world, gathering some fantastic shorts, little films that give you direct perspective from the First Nations people, whether they're people who've been colonised or not. They're expressing their original cultures, if you like. So not only did I learn loads from Twee herself, I sat in and watched one of the movies with the guys, and it was moving. It was truly moving. The movie that I saw, I can't remember what the name was, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it.
That's
But
your excuse.
that is my excuse, and I'm sticking to it, definitely. Most definitely. It was a movie about... I didn't get it because it was all in silence. Absolutely nothing happening. Guy sitting on a rock quite comfortably, but his head was actually a massive moulded mask of what looked like a wolf's head. And he's just sat there in silence, and somebody comes up the path towards him and walks straight past him. And I was a bit confused at that stage. Neither people acknowledged each other, and yet there's no one else around. You're on barren landscape. Neither of them acknowledged each other. So it carries on going. Finally, you come to the realization that this guy's dead, and he's looking for his dead wife, and he is wandering through valleys and canyons and all over. So you get some fantastic cinematography because you're seeing some great outside land shot through a beautiful lens, and the feeling and emotion behind it was really powerful, and I was so impressed. The other little thing that I was impressed about was one of the common traits, it seems, from within the in the First Nations peoples, and this seems to happen with Inuits and American Indians and all sorts. Same common theme, and that is if you happen to be a guy who's a bit too girly, shall we say, their attitude towards it is to call it two-spirited. They believe that two souls have occupied that same body at once, and I hadn't heard that philosophy before.
Yeah, two-spirited. Yeah, because of a lot of like queer community and stuff like
exactly
that.
Where
and so
I was going, man.
yeah,
Exactly
it's
where
a
I was
really
going.
interesting thing.
It's super. It
Yeah.
really puts one's mind at rest, particularly if you do happen to be two-spirited. If you take on that as part of your life philosophy as well as everything else that goes on in this modern crazy world, then actually there's a calm in that, there's a peace in that. You can come to terms with it a lot easier. It's the whole thing's, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. The whole thing was beautiful. I learnt a huge amount, and I really enjoyed my time with Tweed. So if you guys get a chance, I think we're at the last weekend, are we not?
Yeah, I think it's on. It started on Monday. It's on till Sunday.
Yeah.
Unlike, I'm afraid, the Portobello Film Festival, we haven't got a definitive list of what's on. But if you Google Native Spirit Festival, you'll find the programme up there. Maybe there's one of our researchers has got the programme in the background. We will get one in a minute. In the meantime,
we will.
We'll play another tune from my favourite First Nations band, the Hallucination, who are the Hallucination, and they are from Canada.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was a bit.
I thought you were coming in.
We are the tribe
there
that
we
they
go.
cannot see. We live on an industrial reservation. We are the Halusa Nation. We have been called the Indians. We have been called Native American. We have been called hostile. We have been called pagan. We have been called militant. We have been called many names. We are the Halusa Nation. We are the human beings. The callers of names cannot see us, but we can see them. We are the Halusa Nation. Our DNA is of earth and sky. Our DNA is of past and future. We are the Halusa Nation. We are the evolution, the continuation. The Halusa Nation. The Halusa Nation. We are Halusa Nation.
That was Hallucination.
We are the Halusa Nation.
Hallucination, my mistake. That is a tribe from Canada, and they featured heavily in last year's Native Spirit Festival. This year's continues right here at the Muse. Talking of films, Zakia, that is... Sorry, I'm learning to pronounce your name differently. Zakia, you are involved with films.
Yeah, so I'm actually studying film and screen at UAL in my third year. And I'm actually putting on a film screening event as part of the London Short Film Festival in January at the ICA, Institute of Contemporary Arts. So it's a proper big thing. We just signed off on our films right now, each group. 4 groups in my year course, and we've got over 2 days to run our event that goes towards our final grade. My event is all about Black joy. So it's called ALA, which is ALA, which is Yoruba for Dreams. And the whole focus is to be counterculture to what we see in the mainstream in terms of negative, traumatic kind of stories and depictions of Black people from the diaspora. So our goal for our film screening event is to make it a more positive, like I said, counterculture to what we're used to. So we have 5 short films across the diaspora, and then we will have hopefully a short Q&A with one of the films we're showing, which is about a young DJ who's kind of started to come up quite during the COVID years and has got a real name for herself now. And she does Amapiano and I think Afro House. And then hopefully we're still kind of agreeing on it, but we wanted to DJ at the end, so we have a nice little mixer and stuff. But when all the details come out, I will let people know so that they can get tickets and come down. It'll be great for people in the area to see what I've been doing for the past couple of years. People keep asking me where I am. I'm at uni, so I'll let you guys know that information. But yeah, I study film and screen, and it's been really interesting. I got to go to a documentary film festival in Sheffield this year.
Oh, the big one.
Yeah,
the one
big
that Constantine won last year.
Oh, did he?
He won the John Grierson last year.
Lovely, nice. Yeah, it was actually really good. Met a couple of the directors as well. I had good conversations with them. I was inspired. I learned a lot. So yeah, it was a really good eye-opening trip for me.
Do you do some filmmaking, or is it more about curating and understanding?
Yeah, it's more theory-based on the course, which I'm not too mad about because I have experience in filmmaking, and I wanted to get more of a theory and understanding. So leaving the course, there's many opportunities in terms of the film industry that I can go into. So curating and putting on exhibitions is something that we do look at. We look at film theory, understanding the concepts behind certain techniques and ideas, and then we look at alternative kind of films and from the global south as well. So we don't just focus on Hollywood and Europe.
Well, the film you had to find 4 or 5 films to put on as part of your event.
Yeah.
How did you go about finding them?
So during the course, we actually learn how you kind of find different techniques and ways of finding films. So one of the ways is looking at film festivals from the previous years and looking at what kind of films they put on. I searched short films as well made by Black directors because we wanted to have mainly Black art directors for our event. And then we kind of just contacted people and found out about their films and if they'd been filmed or showcased or before in the UK or at any other film festivals. But because of the course in our second year, we have to kind of come up with a pitch for a film festival idea. Coming into the third year, the ideas, some of the films we were going to use, and then we kind of decided to not have a feature film and just kind of stick to shorts. So we had to kind of research a couple, but it's been going really well, and everyone that we have contacted has been great, and they've got back to us and they're really helpful. So I'm really positive about it because it's going really well, and I'm just hoping it will continue on this positive trajectory.
Yeah, we can't wait for that, and that is something to look forward to in January. You mentioned Amapiano. This is the tune that got me into Amapiano. It's Black Coffee's remix of Stimela.
There's a train that comes from Namibia and Malawi. There's a train that comes from Zambia and Zimbabwe. There's a train that comes from Angola and Mozambique, from Lesotho, from Botswana, from Swaziland, from all the hinterlands of southern and central Africa. This train carries young and old African men who are conscripted to come and work on contract in the gold and mineral mines of Johannesburg and its surrounding metropolis. 16 hours or more a day. When they are digging and drilling for that shiny, mighty, invasive stone, or when they fish the fish that rush food into their iron plates. When they sit in their stinky, funky, filthy, flea-ridden barracks and hostels, they think about the loved ones they may never see again, because they might already have been forcibly removed from where they last left them, or wantonly murdered in the dead of night by roving and marauding gangs of no particular origin. We are told. They think about their lands and their herds that were taken away from them with the gun and the bomb and the tear gas and the Gatling. And when they hear that choo-choo train, chucking it up, pumping it up, poking it up, pushing it up, pumping it up, pumping it up, poking it up, pushing it up, pumping it up.
Yeah, that is Black Coffee, and Black Coffee, to my mind, he's the man who really started that whole Afro house, Amapiano vibe. And talking of which, good luck Marco, who is our Afro house DJ, MoFlo, a lot of you will know him as. He's the one who actually didn't turn up at Carnival, if I remember, even though he left his pack of records.
You have got a good memory, well done.
Yeah.
You heard him, yeah.
Anyway, he's having a party at the Yard tonight, so good luck with that.
Talking about the Yard, we have a fantastic new Bright Side of the Road show coming up next Thursday.
Yeah.
And we're going to be recording it with one of the travelling community. Did you know this?
I did. Tom McCarthy or O'Carty, who for a long time lived down there just beyond the yard at the Traveller site under the Westway.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. This is going to be so interesting.
Yeah,
Genuinely so interesting.
if you're interested in our Irish, funny enough, I saw someone on the road this morning with that T-shirt, the More Blacks, More Dogs, More Irish T-shirt.
Yay, brilliant.
Which he looked brilliant in it.
I bet.
But if you're interested in Irish affairs, and the Irish obviously have been here, certainly in Notting Dale, since the early 19th century, and we have had travellers coming to this area since, say, the late 17th century. If you're interested in that, you should tune in to Brightside the Road. It's our show that comes once a month from the Irish Cultural Centre. Last month we looked at films, but the exciting thing is that we have managed to pull bits out of that show, so it's now broken down in smaller bits, and you can get it on Apple, on iTunes, and on Spotify.
Yeah, man, just little sound bites, little segments, 15-minute bits, because the whole show's 2 hours. And if you're interested in the whole show after listening to your little 15-minute bits, then maybe you can click through.
Yeah, because all the bits are as good as the other bits.
They are. But due to licensing restrictions, we can't throw all the beautiful music in there as well, which is kind of where it's at. So,
though you will hear the live music that we record right there in the foyer at the ICC.
You're right, actually. That I hadn't thought about that aspect of it. Yeah, of course, we'll have complete licensing and publishing rights over that. Thank you very much, Mr. Apple. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, man. So, no, check out, if you're a Spotify believer, for you, then search us up, Portobello Radio on Spotify, and then you can get all of our spoken word stuff and these little shorts that we're banging on about at the moment. And indeed, if you love Irish music and Irish culture, then tune in to us at 7 p.m. on Thursday, this coming Thursday.
Yeah, which is the 2nd of November.
Yeah, man. Quickly, just before we leave the Irish tip, Gerard Kelly, my new Bezzy mate. What an amazing geezer. Absolutely brilliant. Bought a couple of Dread Broadcasting Corporation T-shirts off us. And he is a massive fan of this area, of Chelsea, of the DBC, and now of us. So big up yourself, Jerry, and everybody else out there in Dublin. Thank you so much for keeping it locked and keeping us inspired. We're obviously doing something right? Right?
As a kid, you're a lot younger than we are. But you grew up, just down the road, round the corner, in kind of just off Princedale Road. Are you aware of the Irish heritage in this neighbourhood? I mean, that's probably cheating because you made a film called Grove Roots when you were a young lady.
Anytime people ask me questions about the history, I have to remind them I did make a part of a documentary when I was 14. Prior to that, I feel like I don't know, as a child, I feel like I had lots of friends from different backgrounds, and I feel like around here, even though you may notice, you don't really notice. Like, everyone is so entwined with each other. You know, you got Caribbean kids saying wallahi, you got Moroccan kids saying wagwan. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So you have a mix of culture, and I suppose it was only really learning when I was like 14 about the history of the area, where I got to really go into a deep dive about different things. But then I have a couple of Irish friends as well, whose families have been here for generations and stuff like that. So, but yeah, big up to the Irish gang always. I love them. They're always a good time. Like, they understand the kind of being,
in the moment.
Yeah, and they understand the kind of being judged and being outcasted and stuff like that. And so I feel like from someone from the Caribbean, Irish people, we get along really well. We have a kind of similar understanding of what it is to be persecuted by people. So yeah, I love learning about different cultures around here as well. So it's always a good lesson.
When I was your age, the pubs, what attracted us, bohemian middle class kids, what attracted us was to that magical mix of the Afro-Caribbean culture and the Irish culture, in the pub just down the road, the Warwick Castle, now called the Castle. And it was a magical mix. It just, a lot of creativity came out of it.
Yeah, I was actually discussing this with someone the other day. Like, even if you just Wikipedia Ladbroke Grove or Notting Hill or whatever, there's so many people that have come out of this area, like so many creatives and stuff like that. And it's definitely something that draws people into this area. But then I feel like when you come into this area, I don't think you expect what's gonna be on the doorstep. But yeah, I definitely think it's like we are in a very special place with a special history, and only a few understand that.
That's for sure. We are looking forward to our next guest, who is coming in soon. That is it Gloria?
Yes, it's Gloria.
Gloria.
Gloria, who is running an exhibition. Unfortunately, it does. Tomorrow is the last day, but it is called 50 Plaques and Places. There's some information online as well for those who can't make it, but when she comes in, she'll explain more. It's really interesting. It covers a lot of history in terms of the transatlantic slave trade. But yeah, we're looking forward to having Gloria on.
Yeah, and that ends tomorrow at the Tabernacle. That's Saturday, but you're going to hear much more about it in a minute. I was going to play this when Nelio was on because it's not actually a Brazilian tune, but to me this is what it's all about. Oh, sorry, that is my bad. Hi Nev, how you doing? Yeah, that is Shakaron Macaron by Layanta. Taki, you were saying that was something you used to listen to when you were a youngling.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Where on
I
earth did you find that?
I have no idea, but maybe it was on some music channel one time. But me and my sister, we was obsessed with that song, and then our friends as well. It's just yeah, your kids, it just sounds fun and you just kind of stick to it. But yeah, good song, good song.
Talking of fun, we've got Neville with us. Neville, hi.
Hello there.
Hello.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
No feedback.
Yeah.
Very professional setup you got going here, boys.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm on now. I can hear it now.
Yeah,
Couldn't hear it before.
Could have had headphones. In fact, you gave me these headphones. Thanks.
Amongst many other things, Piers.
Yeah. And thanks for the microphone you gave me this week. Nev, you're here to talk about the 40-something disco.
I am indeed.
The kid, do you know about the 40-something disco?
Nah, I mean, I know about 25-something disco. What's a 40-something disco?
The 40-something disco is a 15-year plus 25 disco. It's basically a disco which is for people that have 40 years, really.
40 years what?
Old. But that's not even really true. I mean, it's more about the vibe. It's more about your attitude. It's not for like kids, basically. It's
So
like,
is it kind of like trying to bring back a kind of certain vibe that you guys had growing up when you were going to like
you
strips
could say
and
that.
things?
There's a lot of sort of songs from back in the good old days and men, like stuff from the 80s and 90s. But a lot. I mean, personally, I play them. I play a lot of sort of edits of old songs that have been redone up until now, really. So,
Okay, cool.
but it's it's been going for this is the 8th year now. 7 years we've been going.
So if I'm a 29-year-old can pull up?
You can come anytime you like. Just give me a shout.
Say no more, you might see me there.
So, Nev, this year you started for the first time selling advance tickets.
Last year.
You did? Right, on our old friend Eventbrite or whatever it is.
Yeah.
How's that been for you? Because in the old days, you just tip up on the door, cough up your...
I mean, there's good things
tenner.
and bad things about it. I mean, obviously, a lot of people don't like it because they don't want to buy a ticket months in advance of what they're doing. But the decision was made. I mean, during COVID, I think a lot of things around going out changed, and that's one of the things were advance tickets, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. I was kind of against it at first, but I quite like it now because it just you can monitor who's coming. It's easy
Bit of
to
security as well.
People when they come, they're signed up, so you can invite them to another event later down the line, and it's just. And then people, like what was happening, we've sold out. People were coming down, they weren't getting in. So now if you've got a ticket, you're going to get in. Just makes it all simple, really.
And sorry, where do you usually hold your events?
It's a place called Maxilla, which is under the Westway. You know Maxilla?
Yeah, I know Maxilla. I've been there quite a few times to different
I'm sure.
events.
You're local, obviously, yeah?
Yeah, local. Not too far.
Yeah, but we
from
do it
there.
like 4 or 5 times a year, and this is the Christmas one, which is always traditionally very busy. Like the Christmas one and one in March, which is our anniversary, are the two that are the busiest each year. And we've so far sold half the tickets. I haven't really been advertising it yet, but I'm going to start advertising it in November. So I thought, we sort of arranged it in September, but it was Christmas party, so I just thought leave it till November, get Halloween out of the way first, and then we're going to start ramping up. But we've already sold half the tickets already, so if you're going to be coming, you need to
get your skates
start
on.
thinking about putting your hand in your pocket and pressing those buttons on the
sorry, just so for the listeners, how much are tickets?
Tickets are at the moment £8, but this is the last week. It's going to be £10.
Releasing it.
Yeah, early bird. Next week's going up to £10, which is actually the price. But we do it when we start up lower, and then it goes up nearer the time. So this is the last week of the £8 tickets.
And what kind of music can people expect, Nevsky?
Well, it's 40% disco, so the theme is disco. But I mean it's quite a broad thing. It's dance. I see it as dance music, any kind of dance music really. So I personally going to be playing some house, disco, funk, maybe a bit of reggae.
Nice.
Sounds cool, man. Sounds
And-
like a vibe, yeah.
It's definitely a vibe.
Can people hear you on the radio ever?
Yeah, of course they can. Of course they can. I'll put them on the radio once a month. First Saturday of the month. I've got a show coming up next weekend, I do believe. Not
Saturday
tomorrow. Next week.
And
Which
will
will be out.
will
Be
that
live
be-
next Saturday. It's not this Saturday week. 6 till 7. And if you missed that, you can catch it on Mixcloud on the catch up once we get it up and then uploaded and up onto the Mixcloud page.
And what you like to see me? Will that be a Halloween one or will it be a Guy Fawkes one?
I think it's going to be.
Will there be fireworks?
It's going to be fireworks. I'll be playing some bangers for sure.
Oi.
I'll be playing some bangers. I mean, Halloween will be done by this. It won't be Halloween. It'll be a firework.
Great. Thank you, Nev.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
I hope you'll be playing something like this, Dr. Packer's version of The Way You Love Me.
Don't know that one. Turn it up.
supposed to be, 'cause you love me. Give me reason to come straight home from your love, and I can never roam, 'cause you love me. You really love me. I'm loving the way you love me, baby. Yeah, yeah. The way you kiss me and hug me each morning. I'm loving, you know I'm loving, loving. Try this love thing a time or two. Never felt what I feel for you. And you love me. I love you and you love me, love me. Make me dinner and you make me smile. Stroke my ego, take care of my child and me. You do this 'cause you love me, you love me, baby. Oh, love me, I love the way said I love the way you love me. Hey, I'm loving. You came to me when I needed love. You were a gift from God, and you showed me what love is. Show me what love is. You've been better to me than I've been to myself. I don't want love from no one else but you. See, all I want is you. You complete me. I'm the man I'm supposed to be, 'cause of you. I'm me because of you, because of you. I'm loving the
Yeah, that is the fabulous Ron Hall and the Motherfunkers. And that is The Way You Love It. It's Dr. Packer's extended remix. Nev, you've got some breaking news.
Yeah, I just wanted
off.
to add. There's two things I wanted to add about the disco. Also, on the December the 8th, Aaron's going to be playing for us for the first time.
DJ Aaron, that
DJ
is
Aaron.
my old colleague from Novikov, who of course produced the Candy Staten.
We got the love, or who's got the love? Yeah.
You got the love.
And I also wanted to say that next Saturday, that's November the 4th, I'm going to be playing my first gig down at Putney Pies, which is in Putney. Not really a West London thing, but if you're any the South London crew, I'd love to see you all down there. So it's the 4th of November. Going to be playing some bangers yet again. It's fireworks night practically. So come and check some fireworks on Putney Bridge, and then come and listen to some sounds from me. All right, thanks. Good night.
So, Keir, you were just asking Nev a little bit about the running parties back in the day.
Yeah, no. I mean, I feel like with the rise of social media and everyone having phones, like me going, I'll still have fun, and I don't really care that people are watching, but I do think it has taken away from that kind of going out, kind of just having fun with your people, expressing yourself, because now you got that worry that someone's filming you, and it's not like, I don't know, I feel like people, if you're going to film people, film your friends, don't film strangers unless you've asked them. Like, let the club be the club, let people just, people, it's stressful out here, people just need a space.
I was going to say, even though it's Halloween, there is, the underground is dead. There is no underground anymore.
It's difficult to be underground when people are, you go to a gig nowadays, or you go to see a DJ, and half the people...
Everyone's like this, isn't it, with their phones? All you can see is a white flash, because everyone's just got their flash on.
It's some bloke, some bloke jumping up and down. He's quite often middle-aged. It's what is the point? And the other thing is, people... When you and I were going out at your age, Keir, we probably looked pretty messy.
Oh, that was the thing. That was exactly the thing.
We would have looked
I don't think your generation would not have survived this whole social. No,
definitely
it would have been.
No,
it would have been
not.
crazy.
Well, it would have been ban the phones at the front door.
Thank you, Dave.
Like when you go to film premieres, where they take your phone off you and give you a little ticket, and that's it. So no phones inside the club. And I think that's a lovely idea. I think it's a great idea. And there are quite a few members clubs, certainly in the West End, that will say exactly that as you turn up at the door. I know it's a big thing in Paris. Definitely a massive thing in Paris.
There's a couple of places in Berlin. I know a couple of people that have gone out raving and they're like phone at the door.
Yeah.
And it kind of just makes you be immersive in the moment instead of just like filming it.
Well picked up.
Don't get it twisted. Like there's a couple of times I film on a night out and stuff, but it's like I can still remember the moment because I'm just in it and I'm having fun.
Brilliant.
Whereas if you live always through your phone, I feel like it takes away from your actual core memory as well. So you're relying on your phone for good memories, but you should rely on your memory for good memories, if that makes sense.
It also it takes away the communality of the event because, I mean, for all their faults, the raves that we would go to in the late 80s, everyone was in the room, everyone was in the moment, everyone was contributing,
And that's a beautiful thing, the vibe at that moment when everybody is contributing, as you put it. It's just mental. It's something you can't describe, replace, photograph,
I
record.
don't think my generation is going to be able to have, well, not mine so much because I kind of missed that bit, but
You're
the ones kind of coming, I don't know if they're going to be able to have these conversations in 30, 40 years. They're not going to be able to remember.
I'm sure that a new path will be carved and you will find another way of all gathering and getting on one, as we used to say. But
I worry, even at Glastonbury, I wasn't there this year, but even last year, the first year out of lockdown, and I hate to say it, but there's a tiny bit of it creeping into Carnival that more and more people, instead of being part of an event with Glastonbury, 250,000 or Carnival, 1 million people, instead of being part of that huge community, people are kind of separated. They're stepping back, they're looking through their phones, and Carnival needs those 1 million people to be bacchanalian.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there are certain places where you just got to put that energy for. Like Carnival for me is just, I mean, I can't even describe. Like I tell people all the time to come or whatever. I always tell people, like, if you've never gone, always go on a Sunday, because you're gonna, if you're new to the area, you're new to it, it might be a bit much. Sunday's always calm, but like for me, Carnival is just such a, like, it's just seeing people just having fun. Like, even just working it a couple of years as security or, community stewarding, and just like standing there and, I'm working a 10-hour shift or whatever, but just hundreds of people going past and just smiling and having fun with their friends and just jumping up and dancing. I'm like, that is such a nice thing just to see. Do you know what I'm saying? Just to be a part of, just to view that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a people watching moment, absolutely exquisite.
So I do hope the people that are going Carnival next year put the phone away a little bit and just take one with the vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Wise words, very, very wise words.
Wise words indeed. It makes me want to play this tune.
Oh, exciting! Very exciting.
What's up, man? Man, I was at this. Man, what was you doing, man? What's up with that? Man, I was doing the ooh. Hey, yo, man, it was Oz. What's up, Oz? I've been hanging out at the Fantasia, they been rocking their ass. Hey, man, what's up with the Fantasia? Man, what's up with that? Females is alright. Yeah, they be deaf. They be deaf. I want that.
That, of course, is Funkin' for Jamaica by Tom Brown. I mean, that was a big tune at Carnival, but back in the deep and distant past. We have some we have some feedback on something we talked about earlier. Henry, who used to be part of our team, actually, Henry Scott Irving.
And it is occasionally still, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Has been tuning in from home. Well done, H. Thank you very much indeed.
You can also find him at TWR, which is Totally Wired Radio,
Yeah,
where
man.
he does a regular show. He's just put one out recently. So thank you, Henry, for pointing out the Bright Side of the Road started 4 years ago today during lockdown. But in fact, Henry was the presenter.
He was, brilliant.
And it used to feature a lot of live music. All of that you can find on the Irish Cultural Centre, Mixcloud,
Yeah.
ICC Digital, and most of it you can find on our own Mixcloud.
Absolutely, our own Mixcloud platform, and as we mentioned earlier, Apple and indeed Amazon and Spotify. There's other delightful places. Wicked, absolutely wicked. Thank you
Anyway, I
for your
think
input.
Gloria's arrived. Yeah. We were going to briefly tell you what was on tonight as part of the Native Spirit Festival,
Yeah.
The Art of Resistance. There are a number of films. They're all about 20 minutes long. They come from the First Nation. I'm not sure I can pronounce this. Paiute Shoshone.
Wow.
Sorry. They are in northern Nevada.
Well done.
There's something in Farsi and Turkish about the refugees ending
Amazing.
up in Turkey. There is something that comes, no, I can't work that out. There's the Matachuan First Nation. There's something from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 2 films from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There is a film again from America. I literally can't pronounce this, but it's from Alaska, so it's Inuit. The name of the tribe has some characters I've literally never seen in my life.
Brilliant.
I'm usually quite good at attempting pronunciation.
You've done pretty well
but
there,
I'm
though.
not even.
You've done pretty well, bro. Pretty well.
And there is something again for the United States from the Yupik, the Athabasca, and the Kupik, the Tlingit, and the Hunkangan tribes.
Wow, get you.
All here
My goodness.
at the Muse Gallery, and amazing posters on the wall. I was going to ask Akira about them, but Gloria has arrived. Hi, Gloria. Can we get you a microphone?
There you go. Hi, Gloria. Thank you for coming.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right, and I'm just going to tell you why I'm a little bit late. It wasn't my fault. It was some of your colleagues, the colleagues from SOAS, came in late and then made me stay at the exhibition and tell them a bit about it. And I'm like, I kicked them out in the end and said, I'm really late. I've got to get to Portobello Road. Get out.
Was that Sister Carol?
It was it was somebody called Parvathy.
Oh, okay.
And but I think
Carol?
is
Sisters
it?
and Tefna.
No, was it Isis?
Isis, yeah, my
Isis,
mum,
your
yeah,
mum,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
your mum. I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I'm getting confused.
We're not supposed to say that on air.
Well, that's what I thought, actually. I did think that, but you know. Over to you.
You better tell us about your exhibition, which has been on at the Tabernacle all week, and it's still on tomorrow,
It's
Saturday,
on tomorrow as well, so it's the last day.
in the gallery.
In the gallery, yeah. So the exhibition is called 50 Plaques and Places, and what it does, it examines the people who received compensation for enslaved people after the Abolition Act of 1833. So between 1834 to 1838, 47,000 awards were granted to people who owned enslaved African people of African descent anyway, in the British Caribbean, Barbados in my great-great-grandfather's instance, but also Trinidad, Jamaica, Nevis, St. Kitts, Montserrat, not forgetting the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa, and Mauritius. So,
Even into South America and Guyana.
yeah, and Guyana as well, indeed. Sorry, that's a really important one not to have mentioned. So the exhibition really, what we invited people to do was it started with an organisation which came about after the murder of George Floyd, but actually was prompted but definitely primed by Essentially, the hostile environment. So, we had Theresa May and her hostile environment. As this book I've got here, I brought along to show you guys, from invitation to deportation. So my father arrived in the country in 1957. He was actually recruited in Barbados by London Transport. I've actually brought his contract along to show you as well. So he was recruited along with 400 people.
By active recruiters.
By active
out
recruiters.
There saying, come to the motherland.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
To sit there and also I'll just tell you a bit about this. So this is his actual contract, which he's given me. My dad's still with us. He's 89.
That's great.
But essentially, they were recruited in Barbados. Come to England if you're 21, 22. That's all sounding quite exciting, and you're getting off a small island to do exciting things. We all like to travel at that age.
And in those days, helping the mother country was probably part of the sell.
Indeed, it really, really was. And people believe in something like that and went for it. And that's what everybody was taught in the Caribbean, that England was the motherland. Exactly. So anyway, what's interesting about this contract particularly is that it states that he has to work for a year in England. A bond had to be signed for him by his uncle for £95, and which was, in this money today, that would be £3,000. That's a huge sum of money. So he had to sign a contract for a year, and if he didn't stay for a year, he would have to pay that back. So this contract I've got in front of me...
That's like a bail bond.
It is literally... Exactly. It is indentured. This is
exactly what it is.
1957. So it just seemed...
UK, London, transport.
Exactly. So really for me, once the whole Windrush scandal blew up, it's just how bloody dare you invite people all over the world to come and fill the jobs that you couldn't fill because so many people were killed in the war, and then to do what they did, to that duplicitous behaviour, that turning around and saying you are no longer welcome. Well, I think it really makes you do something. You have to do something. So perhaps, like everybody, we were all sort of trying to do what we could to prevent Brexit happening, because we couldn't believe we're going to be detached from human rights acts and things like that, and then we had COVID, and then we had everything that we all witnessed together. Now, not that it didn't happen before, not that it doesn't happen in this country, but when you have 8 billion pairs of eyes on an action, again, it demands a reaction from you. So after that, I created an organisation called teachplaques.org. That stands for Transatlantic Traffic Enslaved African Corrective Historical Plaques. Happened around about the time that the Colston statue came down. I couldn't believe that the hypocrisy of the government and whoever was in there, I don't know if it was Patel or Braverman or whatever, much the same behaviours. So, yes, that's what it started. I was fortunate enough to get one or two of the plaques into buildings, one of them being, which basically says the person who received compensation. So it says several things on the plaques. It says, if I may, it says Black Lives Matter, yesterday, today, tomorrow. That is self-evident, but it is on there.
And 365, not just 3112.
There you go. And then it says, under the Abolition Act of 1833, the British government compensated such and such. And that is important because it was an act of Parliament, because this is the law. So if the law does something, it is the law we will go to for redress. And we will be coming for redress.
Wow.
And this is what this sort of action is to start.
So these plaques are kind of anti-plaques in a way.
They are. We're flipping the script in the good old, hip-hop language. We're flipping the script. What I didn't realise at the time, even though I knew I'd be taking something and changing that, was the first blue plaque the blue plaque scheme was actually set up by a gentleman, an MP, called William Ewart. William Ewart's father was in business with John Gladstone, who was the most compensated person in Britain. So the very plaque we see on the walls that everybody sits and says, oh, such and such lived here, this and that.
They were invented by the bloke.
A person whose father was a slave trader. So it is good that that a descendant, and anybody in this area, we are descendants, it is good that we are challenging this today.
Absolutely.
It's really powerful. I had the privilege of viewing it the other day at the Tabernacle, and we hear about it in history, and your parents talk to you about stuff, but then when you really read it and you see numbers, and it's like it's really shocking to the core. But then it's like also these people got compensated for human lives. It's really disgusting, if I'm being honest, but it's really good that you're doing something to highlight this history, because a lot of people don't know. I would recommend anyone that is around tomorrow, please go down to the Tabernacle. And is it from 11 a.m.?
It's from 11 a.m. till 5, and if I can still speak, which I can barely speak after 27 days, but if I can, I'll do my very best to take you around the numbers. But in actual fact, it's what you just said, really. You just look at those numbers, you soak it up. Because they're on plaques that are framed, they really do the work for you. You can see those numbers, you know there are individuals, even though people try to hide mass murder and genocide with thousands and thousands. It is individuals, and every life deserves to be remembered.
And I imagine that a lot of those names, anyone with a passing interest in history will see that money launched huge wealth.
I mean, I was at the Tate Britain this year for a uni trip, and I didn't realise that the Tate Britain is the guy that, well, the person that
He's
kind
the
of
sugar guy.
Yeah, the sugar guy.
Henry Tate.
Yeah, and how he got his money. Yeah. And obviously the Tate Britain, I think they're trying to do decolonize his kind of the things that he did, and kind of acknowledge that that's how they've ended up with the building. But it was just like, I've lived in the country for how many years, and I had no idea how many primary school trips going to the Tate Britain, Tate Modern, the whole time it's from a guy who's known for sugar, and how do we get sugar. You start putting things together, and it's like it's all around you. And I think we need to start looking around and actually taking in, like, it's right there in front. If you go to the City of London, you'll see so many different things. It's an eye opener, but people's eyes need to be opened.
100%, and you've hit on a really good one, because we actually do have a plaque for Henry Tate. So it's actually he seemed to, should we say, whitewash, because it's white sugar. He whitewashed his money. And people always said that. He made his money after the abolition of slavery, but everything was in place for 200, 300 years before. So that's a nonsense. Anyway, you'll be delighted to know, I'm sure, here in finest Portobello Road, that the person who's nominated the plaque is Linton Kwesi Johnson.
Oh, hey.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
We are deeply honoured, and actually he has nominated the Brixton Tate Library. And the reason why he's nominated that library is 20 odd years ago he had given a talk there, or a presentation of some kind, and he believed the name of that library was being changed to the Brixton Library. And it's only when I approached him and said, would you like to do one? And he said, yes, I want to do the Brixton Library. And then he realised it's still called the Brixton Tate Library. So 20 years come and go, and if we don't challenge this stuff, it's just going to stay the same. So we really have to do our thing. And I just like everybody in the area who's got a Caribbean parent, Caribbean grandparent, Caribbean great-great-grandparent. Look at your name. The name, like my name, is a name branded on us, essentially, through hundreds of years from the slave owners. And I think we need to buy it back.
Absolutely. I mean, just going back to Guyana, for instance, that used to be called Demerara.
That's right.
Which is what we call a sugar.
Yeah.
That is brilliant work, Gloria. I love the way you're turning it on its head, and also I love the way that you've used Black History Month to spotlight something which isn't necessarily, God rest her soul, Mary Seacole, but it's actually one of the consequences of what we, I suppose, what we were doing through the 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th century. That's 400 years.
Indeed. I think it's really important, and I think obviously everybody uses Black History Month to celebrate and commemorate, and that is great, and this is not taking away from that. This is, in part, it's because actually no of the usual suspects in the media would actually really give us this kind of platform that you're giving us. So, I mean, in fairness, I suppose we were on Radio 4, but it was a tiny bit hijacked. But to come here in a space where it is a safe space, it's Portobello Road. I was born on Westbourne Park Road. I've lived here all my life, and it's good to be here talking to local people about issues that affect us. And in fact, we have got it's a mini win, only a mini win. But Tuesday Greenwich from the Grenfell Memorial Quilters in North Kensington Library nominated for us, and she has nominated a gentleman called Pasco St Leger Grenfell. He received, along with 4 partners, compensation for 216 enslaved people. yesterday in the house. We had the leader of the Royal Borough of Kensington Chelsea, which is Elizabeth Campbell. Never met her before. Have to say, I'm not a Tory voter, sorry, or not. And the second person was her deputy, and they came, they experienced, they wrote a message in a book, and they are going to take the proposal to the council. So I think a little bit of work going on in a quiet part of, Notting Hill.
Absolutely brilliant.
Might be changing something.
No, that's amazing.
absolutely
Yeah, because I saw the name on the thing, and I was like, it can't be the grandpa but yeah, again, like if you look at certain names and you look at buildings, you look at history, it is really there. You just have to connect the dots.
100%.
So, but thank you for starting to connect the dots for us.
Oh my goodness!
You started the journey.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's so good to talk a little bit about it on your show. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Talking of blue plaques, there on the other side of the coin is Nubian Jack, and Nubian Jack has spent probably the last 10 years putting up plaques that honour black people, or people of colour, people of African descent, which in this country starts with the Emperor Severus in I think 3rd or 4th century. I call it AD, but everyone else now calls it CE. There was a black ruler of this country 1800 years ago. So we do need to honour the people who've been here before. And an amazing woman, Millie Small, who did My Boy Lollipop, who had a smash #1 in America and in the UK. It was the first Jamaican record to get anywhere close to the top of the charts. Nubian Jack and his Nubian Jack Foundation are celebrating her life. I think it's at 11 o'clock tomorrow, and it's in West Kent. It's down there by Barons Court Tube at 62 Netherwood Road, W14. And he will be honouring Millie Small, My Boy Lollipop, who lived at one point in West Kent.
I mean, who? I was just going to say, well, he's done incredible work, but there's no reason why the two sets of work wouldn't go hand in hand. One set of work commemorating one set of people, one set of work making us all remember who was responsible for the actions of so much of the British Empire.
Perfectly hand in
I
hand.
do too. I do too.
You've got to look at every side of the coin.
Yeah.
My Boy Lollipop, Millie. I think we're probably at the end of the show, are we?
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that. Sadly, we're kind of running out of time here. We've got about another 4 minutes to go.
Just remind me what this tune is.
The one that we're listening to is just the Giro.
I was looking for this earlier.
Oh, it's such a brilliant tune. Absolutely brilliant tune.
Again, Brazilian.
Ostinko.
I'll pronounce it next time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gloria, for coming to the show.
Yes, thank you, Gloria. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Keep up the good work.
It.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. It's actually been quite fun. I know you've been trying to get me on here for a year. Hopefully I'll be coming back once a month on a Friday. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Is that a promise?
That is a promise. I'm gonna take one Friday from ISIS a month, and we're gonna have some young people come on the show and show you guys how it's done.
Love it, absolutely.
We look forward to it.
Yeah, man, we certainly do.
We did outside Bay 20 when you were part of the Maxilla City takeover. We would love to thank Nelio for coming in and talking to us about capoeira again, diving deep into Black history in this towards the end of October 2023. But don't forget, you'll hear issues about Black history on Portobello Radio 365.
24/7, man, 24/7. You know that. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening in at home. We have a spectacular lineup at the weekend, don't we? Some amazing DJs.
This show repeats at midday tomorrow and at 10 a.m. on Sunday. At 2 tomorrow we have Saturday sessions. It's a fantastic end of the month lineup, including Georgia Lupita and her happy hour.
Yeah, man.
We have at 4 o'clock, we've got the Foreign Office.
We have got the Foreign Office, but I don't know what the tune is, I must confess, or who the DJ is, rather.
No,
but anyway, Foreign Office, lovely. Mono Loco, possibly going to get something from him, or possibly going to play a rewind.
No, we're going to play a rewind of Mono Loco. What's 5 o'clock, Greg?
5 o'clock is Mr. Jason Nixon. Come on, we haven't heard from him in a couple of months.
No.
So we got Disco 45.
Yeah.
And then
and
indeed
on Sunday at midday, we're going to rerun our goth special. Aid McManus talking to Kathy Unsworth. Got great numbers
that was
on
such
Wednesday
good
night.
fun. Wasn't that good fun, man?
And then
Mental.
2 o'clock, it is all over again. Sunday rewind.
Yeah, man. Happy Halloween and all that kind of business. And we'll catch up with you guys next week. Next live show is probably going to be on Thursday, isn't it? Or is it Wednesday? No, it's Thursday. Yeah, unless Aidan's going to do something on Wednesday. We don't know. Just keep it locked. Portobello Radio 24/7. You know the score.
And let's celebrate Millie Small, the very first Jamaican #1, also the very first record from Island Records to get into the charts.
Great. Take care. Have a good week.
I love Portobello Radio. Probably the best radio station in Ledbroke Grove.
My name is Etienne Charles and I love Portobello Radio.
Hey!